Fun fact, the XXL Magazine released its first issue in 1997, and it featured Jay-Z and Master P on a double cover. Play the music. Welcome to Open M.I.C. I'm your host, Jamal Raheem. Now, you can get this good podcast wherever you get podcasts. You can also watch it on YouTube if you're one of those visual people like myself. Now, today's episode, we are talking about XXL Magazine, whether it's relevant, whether the freshman list is good. And I'm also going to give you my ranking of the top 5 XXL freshman class, my ranking. So without further ado, let's get into this episode. Now, before I talk about whether or not I think the magazine or its freshman list is relevant, we got to give some background history about the XXL Magazine, because I am a person who appreciates digital media, physical media, all types of different medias, but especially physical type of media. Now, the magazine was founded by former Source employees, Source workers, staffers, like that. The Source magazine is Benzino's magazine that he had back in the day that were known for like their 5 mics and stuff like that. So the magazine saw some pretty historic like people come from the magazine. You know, you got Elliott Wilson, who has Rap Radar, what's his name? Dewan Thomas, I think is his name. The King magazine guy. And right now the editor is Vanessa Satin. That's the name I didn't know. I didn't know who the editor was, which is saying a lot about what I think about the relevancy. But the magazine also had like some like great things that came from it. They had the Shade 45, that was like a limited release. They had the hip hop soul. They had the eye candy for you nasty folks like myself. But they had a lot of things going on. You know, I remember when like XXL was like the hottest thing ever. You know, they had mixtapes, DVDs, they had a whole bunch of stuff, man. I used to like go to their like sites. I used to try to get a magazine. I remember like when I like in 2010 when I like turned 18, I like got like money for the first time. Shout out to financial aid. And I went on eBay and ordered like a whole bunch of like magazines from like XXL was one of them and stuff like that. But besides the magazine, they do have a website which is updated like all the time with like the daily news on what's going on in hip hop, what's going on in music and all that type of stuff. They also, like the Source, because a lot of the people who came from the Source was the founders of XXL. They did give rankings to albums, XXL being the best, S being bad. I don't know why S is bad. I'm sure it might be like a little shot at the Source now that I think of it. Like the albums that they gave, like perfect scores, XXL, are like Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, The Blueprint, Get Rich or Die Trying, B by Common, Late Registration by Kanye, Hell Have No Fury by The Clips, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. They also went back and gave some ratings to some albums that were out before they even existed, so they did that too. But most of all those albums that I said, they came out 1997 or after August of 1997. Now, if I'm being honest, there's definitely some East Coast bias in the albums that they give like XXL and the stuff that they talk about, which we're going to discuss a little bit later. But of course, what they're really known for, especially for my generation, is the XXL Freshman list, which saw great rappers come on there. You saw Kendrick, you saw J. Cole, you saw Lupe, Travis Scott, Chance the Rapper, amongst many great MCs that have been featured on double XL. There have been some people who have rejected double XL. Like I think Drake rejected it, Nicki Minaj rejected it. Yeah, there's a good list of people who have rejected it as well. But now what I really want to discuss is double XL relevant today? And the quick answer to that is no. And we can end the video there. But we're not. I don't think double XL is relevant today for plenty of reasons. One is the definite East Coast bias they've shown. Like with their freshman list, they haven't been as East Coast biased, but their bias still comes in when you see somebody like RIP Fred the Godson. He was included in one of the lists, and he wasn't even like super big everywhere outside of New York. You know what I'm saying? That one seemed like a New York East Coast bias pick. But also the albums that they chose to give double XL to are all East Coast albums, except the Kanye and the Common albums. And what a lot of people say about Kanye and Common is they sound like East Coast artists. They rap like the traditional East Coast artists, especially Common. You know what I'm saying? Especially Common. So they didn't give any like albums on the West Coast a double XL 5-star. Like they weren't included in that. And you can't tell me that after 1997 there wasn't a rap album from a West Coast artist that was top tier. You can't even tell me that wasn't a rap album from an artist from the South, because there's plenty from the South that was top tier, 5 stars. So their biases definitely played a huge part in them falling off. You know what I'm saying? They fell off because of that. You know, like why as a West Coast artist would I respect your list if you don't have any West Coast albums as XXL? Like none of them. You know, and I'm only talking about the albums after 1997. I'm not even talking about the albums that they went back and rated 5 stars. But to give an album like My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy 5 stars, but not an album like The Documentary by Game, which to me is a 5-star album, it's kind of crazy to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I personally think that the East Coast bias is one of the big things in their downfall. Another thing is the landscape changed. Everything changed. You know what I'm saying? We have more access to the internet. We have more access to blow up faster. Like in 2007, 2008, people were blowing up because like a cosign from like a source like double XL. Dang, I didn't even try to say a source like the double XL. That's crazy. Bang! But a cosign from a double XL saying like, oh, we see you on the grind, you're on the rise, you're coming up. You know what I'm saying? That was helping a lot of people's careers. And I think at this moment, it's not really helping people's careers, because you don't really need the double XL cosign anymore, because people can blow up off of TikTok, off Instagram. People can blow up off of a reel, a short. Like if you can go viral, it don't really matter at this point. You know, there's been plenty of people who went viral and blew up. They don't really need a double XL. Cardi B is like the person that sticks out to me. Like, she blew up off of reality TV, and she's one of the biggest rappers on the planet right now. Like, you don't need the cosign of them. The landscape has changed. Just how the landscape has changed on magazines being printed and stuff like that, which I personally hate, because I love physical media. But the landscape has changed so much. Like, you don't need a double XL anymore. You don't need like their cosign. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can honestly too, you don't even need record labels or radio. As much as like I loved like the old days, and I'm saying old days as in like early 2000s, and which Like, as much as I love that era when you can just like hear a song on the radio and then like the album comes out, is when you're like surprised, and like that's how you know if an album's good or not. You know what I'm saying? Nowadays, you can just put out 25, 26 song albums and they get it instantly. Like that. They don't know, the single could be trash, but then the whole album can be fire. And they can just listen to your whole album. But they don't need the cosign of a XXL anymore. They don't need a cosign of a radio company anymore. Like, the landscape is completely different. Back in the day, you used to have to go to the radio. You used to have to go on every radio station, hit them all with freestyles and do all these type of things. And like, then people are like, oh, they real, I'm gonna go buy that album when it comes out. You don't gotta do that no more. There ain't that many people who are rapping on, like, going to a radio station and rapping. Personally, I don't think they need to be doing that, because they just gave us a whole album of like 10 to 15 songs. Like, we don't need a freestyle. We got the album. But the thing is, they don't need radio. Just like they don't need radio, they don't need magazines. They don't need XXL. They don't need hip-hop publications no more. You can blow up without them. And that's sad to see. But the times have changed. You know what I'm saying? Social media is the new XXL. That's just what it is. Social media is the new source. Just like Spotify is the new radio. Apple Music's the new radio. Artists don't need magazines anymore. And as unfortunate as it is for me, because again, I love like physical media, I understand that the landscape is different. I understand how things change. I do think a lot of these publications being so New York focused and like being so biased has played a huge part into them, like the people finding different options. But the way technology is moving, we don't even print magazines like that as much. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't do these things. So of course they lost their credibility. Another thing that made them lose not credibility. That's the wrong. Of course, they're not as relevant, because I don't know why I said credibility. Another thing is the freshman list. The freshman list, they seem to be out of touch with what is going on. And I see they're trying to keep up with like what's cool, what's hot now, and all that type of stuff. Instead of picking the people that they think are going to be the freshman list, the top 10 or 11, however many people it is, it seems like they're going with like what's trendy and stuff like that. And that is messing up these lists. Like, this last group wasn't that great. And I listen to hip hop of not just the 2000s, not just the 90s. I listen to today's hip hop too. But this last group is like, yo, either y'all need to do a better job of making it like, there needs to be an incentive for these people to want to be an XXL freshman, or y'all just need to cut it all out altogether, because it hasn't been good. Hasn't been good for a few years, if I'm being honest. There's like one or two people that like, I'm like, all right, cool. But the rest of them, I'm like, oh, they got one viral song, and y'all made them a XXL freshman. They don't even have a project out yet, and you made them a XXL freshman. Like Ruby Rose, as fine as she is, she was a XXL freshman. She got like 5 songs, and that might be generous. How is she a XXL freshman? Like, those type of things I don't get, but I never will get. And that is one of the reasons why, or a bunch of the reasons why I don't think the XXL is relevant. I don't think their freshman list is relevant. I think they need to do some revamping. But it's not just XXL. It's not just XXL. A lot of these hip hop, really music medias have been dropping the ball. Rolling Stones is down. They just put out crappy list after crappy list, and they just be trying to go viral to get you to click on their article and all these type of things. And yeah, I might click on the article, but you lose relevancy when you put nonsense in it. But let me know what y'all think. You know what I'm saying? If y'all think the XXL is still relevant, or if y'all agree with me that they're not relevant, let me know. Maybe I'm tripping. But we're going to take a little bit of a break. I'm going to rank my top 5 XXL classes because they, even though I don't think they're relevant right now, they have been a very important part in my hip hop, my life, and I wish they were back on top. But we're going to rank my top 5 XXL classes after this break. Bum bum ba bum 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 ba bum 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 ba bum 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 bum. We back. All right. All right. So I'm going to give my ranking of the top 5 XXL classes. Now, before I give this ranking, I want to say this because I didn't say this beforehand. I feel like the XXL also dropped the ball with some of these freshman classes because I feel like some of these people should have been on a year or two before they actually got picked for the freshman list, which probably led to some of these people denying XXL because they probably should have been on a year or two before they got offered a spot. That's all I'm going to say before I get into my list. But let's start off with my number 5. I'm going with 2016. This class you have 21 Savage, Denzel Curry. He had that song Ultimate. That song was huge. Gosh, you couldn't escape it. Lil Yachty's on there. And honestly, Lil Yachty, when he blew up, it's because of that one song. I know you want this for life. That song. I didn't think he needed to be a freshman at the time. Now he's way more relevant than he was when he was a XXL freshman. Kodak Black is also on there, and Lil Uzi to highlight the people who were part of the class of 2016. I actually found out about Lil Uzi because of XXL. I didn't know who he was. His name threw me off because I was like, I don't want to be hearing all this gun rap. So Lil Uzi, I was thinking it was going to be like, pew, pew. But the song Money Longer, the first song I heard, and I was like, wait a minute. This is different. I rocks with this. So at 5, we're going with the class of 2016. At 4, 2009. That class, you got like Wale, B.O.B.'s in it, Currency, Kid Cudi, Blue is in it as well. Shout out to Blue. Below the Heavens is one of my favorite albums. Like I damn near cried when I got that on mixtape on vinyl. This is a solid class. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these people I listen to this day. All of them had their moments. And to be honest, at one point, B.O.B. was the biggest out of all of them. He had Airplanes. He had that song, was it Nothing on You? He had some big songs. Like at one point, he was the biggest rapper from that class. And honestly, B.O.B., if it wasn't for some of his views, he probably would be like a lot bigger today, if I'm keeping it a buck. Now, class of 2013. Now, this class, I feel like all of these people should have been on a year before they were included. And that is Schoolboy Q, Solo Ho, Ab-Soul, Joey Badass. I played Waves so much. Logic was a part of this. The Young Sinatra, all that type of stuff. Sosa, Chief Keef was part of this one. Action Bronson. Like everybody I named, probably except Chief Keef, should have been a year before. And they were all like big. They were all buzzing like crazy. You know what I'm saying? But class of 2013 is my number 3. At number 2, 2010, you got Cole, J. Cole, one of my favorite MCs. You know what I'm saying? Friday Night Lights is probably my favorite mixtape. Too Deep for the intro. Come on, man. Nipsey Hussle. Freddie Gibbs is a part of it. Gangsta Gibbs. Big Sean. Boy. Wiz Khalifa, which I feel like he should have been on 2010. 2009 with Currency, and J-Rock from TDE. Shout out to J-Rock too. Consistent. He's like the forgotten child. But that's 2010. Solid class. Solid. I listen to all of their music still to this day. So solid class. Number one though, I don't even think this was up for debate. It's 2011. Not even really up for a debate. You got Meek Mill, who was killing it in the mixtape streets. Killing it. I'm telling you, I was on that Piff heavy. Them Flamers, all them stuff. Like, we had I Like My Rose Red and I Like My Rose. That song, fire. Yeah, the late, great Mac Miller. YG was a part of this class. 400. You got Big Crit. Big Crit, one of the most underrated artists out. I don't care what anybody says. You got bass guy Lil B. The bass guy Lil B. You know what I'm saying? And then you had Kung Fu Kenny. And I was talking about Kendrick for a long time. A long time. Like when he made Double XL, we were so happy. We, as in like my friends and all of us, we were so happy. And the funny story is, one year, so I, with like a few other people, my brother, my friend Josh, my friend Phil, his sister Mel, we created this conference called United Black Student Conference, UBSC. One year, the first year, we wanted to get Kendrick Lamar and Black Hippie. We had the budget. It got rejected. We also tried to get Big Crit. Got rejected. So we was looking and seeing like how much all these people are worth. Like to book them. We had the money. They rejected them. Something I'm still not over. But my top Double XL classes are at 5, 2016, at 4, 2009, at 3, 2013, at 2, 2010, and at 1, 2011. That is my ranking of the Double XL freshman classes. Let me know your ranking. And before we get out of here, I gotta give y'all the song of the week. I wouldn't be me. So this song is Katori Walker, Comfortable.
I can't hold a frown too long. I can't stay down too long. Look, running from pain, running from strain, running from things, running from schemes. I can't hold a frown too long. I can't stay down too long. Look, running from pain, running from strain, running from things, running from schemes.
And that song was Katori Walker, Comfortable. This has been Open Mic. I've been your host, Jamal, Radio Raheem. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, save it if you're anywhere. Do all this. Listen to it. Rate it 5 stars. If you're going to rate it anything else, do not waste your time. And I'll catch y'all next week, man. Peace.